The news hit China's food industry like a shockwave. Dicos, once a titan of fast food, was in serious trouble. In early 2025, the company announced the closure of over 500 stores across the country, a fifth of its entire network. For years, Dicos was a familiar sight, a reliable place for a quick meal. Now its bright orange and brown signs were vanishing from city streets and town squares. Profits were down, debts were rising, and the brand was shrinking fast. Dicos had once boasted over 2,600 locations, but now it was caught between fierce competition in big cities and a surprising decline in its small-town strongholds. The collapse seemed sudden, but the warning signs were there. Dicos wasn't just another fast food chain, it was a Chinese success story, the homegrown rival to KFC and McDonald's. It had won the loyalty of millions, especially outside Beijing and Shanghai. The sudden closures left many wondering, how did a brand so deeply woven into Chinese life fall so far? The answer lies in a mix of bold strategies, missed opportunities, and a failure to keep up with a rapidly changing China. In big cities, Dicos never broke the dominance of global rivals. In smaller cities, new competitors and online delivery services chipped away at its market share. The very strategy that made Dicos a success, focusing on third and fourth tier cities, now exposed its vulnerabilities. The Chinese consumer is evolving faster than ever, and Dicos struggled to keep up. This is more than a story about burgers and fried chicken. It's about a brand losing touch with the customers who once made it great. To understand Dicos' crisis, we need to remember what it meant to a generation of young people in the 1990s and 2000s. In small towns, Dicos was more than a restaurant. It was a window to a new world. For many, their first taste of Western-style fast food was at Dicos, not McDonald's or KFC. The clean interiors, friendly staff, and novelty of fried chicken and fries felt glamorous. Dicos was a destination for birthdays, first dates, and family treats. It became deeply woven into the social fabric of these communities, an affordable luxury, both aspirational and accessible. While KFC and McDonald's focused on big cities, Dicos quietly built an empire in overlooked places. The appeal was simple, reliable food, a safe environment, and a taste of something new. Dicos became part of cherished childhood memories for millions. It wasn't just selling food, it was selling an experience, a feeling of being modern and connected. For a young person in a third-tier city, going to Dicos was a statement, you were part of the new China. This deep-rooted loyalty was the foundation of Dicos' kingdom. But even the strongest foundations can crack when the ground shifts beneath them. Before Dicos ruled small-town China, it tried to conquer the big cities. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, Dicos launched an ambitious push into Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou, aiming to rival KFC and McDonald's. The logic was clear: win in the biggest markets, become a national powerhouse. But Dicos quickly learned that competing in the big cities was a different game. KFC and McDonald's had arrived earlier, secured the best locations, and built powerful brands. Urban consumers saw them as the authentic Western experience. Dicos was the copycat. The financial drain was immense. High rents, expensive marketing, and a price war Dicos couldn't win. Stores lost money, and the brand's reputation suffered. By the mid-2000s, Dicos had to face reality. The big city strategy was a costly failure, but this defeat forced a crucial pivot. Dicos realized it couldn't be the next KFC. Instead, it needed a new path, one that would take it away from the metropolis and into the heart of China. That pivot would define its greatest era. After its big city defeat, Dicos made a bold pivot focus on China's smaller cities. It closed unprofitable flagship stores and redirected resources to third, fourth, and even fifth-tier cities, places ignored by global brands. Dicos saw what others missed. These consumers wanted modern, family-friendly restaurants and a taste of Western-style food. By being first, Dicos became the default market leader. It didn't fight for market share, it created the market. Dicos adapted its menu to local tastes, introducing hits like the rice burger, Western-inspired, but with a Chinese twist. This strategy was a phenomenal success. Dicos grew explosively, becoming the king of lower-tier city markets. For over a decade, it thrived without direct competition from global giants. The retreat from big cities became a triumphant march across the rest of the country. Dicos had found its identity and its path to becoming a fast food empire, but success would bring new challenges. The market was about to change again. Dicos' rapid expansion was powered by a smart franchise model. Instead of building every store itself, Dicos partnered with local entrepreneurs who knew their communities. This allowed for fast, low-cost growth, especially in smaller cities. Franchisees brought local knowledge, relationships, and investment. For them, a Dicos franchise was a prestigious, accessible business opportunity. Dicos made it easy, lower investment than KFC or McDonald's, plus training, standardized recipes, and marketing support. This ensured consistency and built customer trust nationwide. The franchise model created a virtuous cycle. More stores meant more visibility, which attracted more franchisees. For years, this machine worked flawlessly, planting Dicos in thousands of locations. But relying on franchisees also meant less direct control, a weakness that would be exposed as the market shifted. The seeds of future trouble were already sown. For years, Dicos ruled its small city kingdom with little opposition. But starting in the late 2010s, everything changed. KFC and McDonald's, having saturated big cities, expanded aggressively into lower-tier markets, opening stores right next to Dicos. New homegrown brands like Wallace undercut Dicos on price, while local restaurants modernized and copied the fast food model. Suddenly, consumers had choices, and Dicos started to look old and tired. Meanwhile, young people's tastes evolved. They wanted healthier options, more variety, and digital convenience. Food delivery apps like Meituan and LA.me transformed the industry, making physical location less important. Dicos was slow to adapt. Its aging stores and menu felt out of touch. Store traffic fell, sales stagnated, and franchisees lost faith. Many closed their doors, creating a negative feedback loop. Fewer stores, less visibility, less relevance. The empire built over 2 decades was now crumbling under renewed competition and its own failure to innovate. Dicos' unique selling point had vanished. The market had moved on. Dicos hadn't. Dicos' rise and fall is a lesson in the brutal pace of China's market adapt or disappear. Its early success came from smart adaptation, spotting an opportunity, localizing its menu, and using a franchise model to scale. For a decade, Dicos was a case study in how to win in China. But its great failure was standing still while the market changed. Dicos became complacent, relying on old formulas and failing to innovate. It was slow to embrace digital delivery, refresh its brand, or appeal to a new generation. Success bred complacency, and Dicos underestimated how quickly competition and consumer tastes would evolve. The loyalty of one generation didn't transfer to the next. The emotional connection faded as younger consumers found new brands to love. Dicos lost touch with its customers. The closure of 500 stores is more than a business failure, it's a warning. In China, no brand can survive on past glories. The future belongs to those who never stop adapting.